Yeah, we'll start. Om. 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 Sahana bhavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्च अर्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। हरि ओम्।
Hari Om. Yes, we were here, no, a third man.
In Bala?
Trinavarta, no? We were.
Yeah,
No.
we were in Trinavarta.
Trinavarta is over or only Chakatash?
No, we were in Trinavarta, if I'm right.
Trinavarta. So all the Nandas performed. God is good to him. We were there, yeah.
Okay. One day, so we've had Shakata, Sura, Putana, Trinavarta, one by one, all the different evil natures are being overcome by Bhagwan. Something, Bala?
No, I'm looking for the document. Are you able to see the document?
Yeah. It's on your screen
You
only.
please continue. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
one by one. So here, this is a journey where now once one has gone through Chitta Shuddhi, there is a certain amount of Chitta Shuddhi you have, only then can one actually reach Bhagwan and really get a glimpse of him as that divine presence within. And now, as the divine presence, when one starts living their life, one by one, the initial chitta shuddhi is about the settling of the mind. It is about the settling of the mind. That very strong waves on or the ripples on the lake slowly settle down, and now the deeper aspects are becoming visible. The bed is becoming visible only when the lake settles. So what happens? That chitta shuddhi happens. When the chitta shuddhi happens, then the divine presence is felt, realized. And when that divine presence, which is eternally there with us, it is our wrong assumption that we are the body, we are the mind. And we have been associating ourselves with all the roles and the images that are there in our mind, rather than the true divine presence that is there within. Now, with the divine presence that is slowly like a child first is born. Born in the sense it's always there, but it is revealed slowly. Like a child, it is revealed to us. And then when that divine presence, every now and then that taste of him is felt within, slowly that now the vasanas, the deeper aspects, or all the bondages, the bindings to the world, which is our raga, dvesha, our aham, the I-ness, which is the separateness, which we feel as though I am the doer, my doership. And all of these now slowly start, there is a letting go. Just like that, Putana, Shakatasura. What were the meanings given for Shakatasura? Is all these are different forms of letting go. We will just keep it at that. Different desires, different expectations, different bondages to the samsara. These are the evils within us, the asuras within us. Like a donkey, we are holding on to it, thinking it is holding on to us. And in fact, neither are we holding on, neither is it holding on, it is just an imaginary bondage. We just, and slowly as the divine presence is there within us, shines more and more through us, it is just let go. The vasana kshaya keeps happening, and hence now further the mind settles down even further. Manonasha. The mind, existence itself becomes questioned now. Yeah.
This today I read somebody had sent when Aarti was saying, so the child, like a child, first the glimpse, that is a recognition within, right? Oh, I was searching everywhere. There's something inside, though it is not inside, that and all later it comes, but initially. That's why all the great masters tell, God is there in the heart. So for us to first, so Bhagavan's Ramana Maharishi's quote, I may not be reproducing it in the same words, but I read it somewhere. So he says, just like how a mountain that is on fire, in that, no birds, nothing will come and sit. Because they know that the fire, because it's Bhagavan, no? He's talking about Arunachala. So, like that, if that jnana, the power of jnana or the Bhagavan within, when he is there, no kama, krodha, lobha, madha, matsarya can come and sit. It is that power of that presence. That is why all these things do not come. But that recognition must be there. We should not logically think what is all that. This ego must first, at least, recognize that, oh, I'm part of divine. The feeling of I is divine. It is like, okay, one more thing is coming up. So these two things will make it very clear, right? So this ego does not mean the kama krodha aspect. Those all are like shadows. They are imaginations. They are very abstract. They are like dark. Okay, but the moment the light is there within, the moment the recognition is, oh, the I within, the divinity is there within. That's all. We don't even have to. Divinity is there within. The moment that is there, then that little Krishna is born within. Then what happens? Slowly, 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 like what Aarti was saying, the deeper mental habits, they do not even come in the vicinity. They don't. Then we see that, so it is possible only when the divine is born. This ego cannot fight. Because what right now I'm identified with as this body, this bala, this name, this is much younger than the mental habits, because the habits are there for janma, janma, janma. That is what we call as vasanas, right? Bhagavatam calls it as hridaya granthi. All the granthis, the final hridaya granthi is the ahambhava. So all these things and all can, because I am something separate from truth, from the Lord, is the first ignorance, right? So that is there. That's why we are sitting here. No? That is there. Otherwise, why this janma and janma, janma, janma? But this little ego is born later. It is also in that some mesh of that shadow. So it cannot do anything. All that it can do is to cease to exist. To know that that's nothing like that. So for that, this fire of jnana within, is so powerful that's also relate. That is how even Hanumanji, after he burns Lanka, there is a beautiful scene which comes. He burns Lanka, and then there is one picture also. I remember long back when we did Kathotsava, I got it, but now I don't know if it is there. So beautiful. He comes and sits on the Trikuta mountain. They say it is an upasana. The entire scene is like that, and the entire Lanka is burning. And he, a huge, divine presence is there. That is the bhava with which someone who sees that picture, the moment that is there, it is so suggestive within, that the divinity within is there as that fire. Then what can come within? Nothing can come. So that's what even Krishna, when he looks very small baby and all that, that inner fire is, already acting. For outside Gopikas, he looks like very sweet and very tender, lotus eyes, lotus feet is what we say. But inner fire is very, so that is the power of truth, Sat, the pure existence. So ego just has to surrender to that. Then all this automatically happens. There is no automatically means in the presence, in the fire of true presence. All these things are burnt.
I was just reading about the temple architecture and something, how it represents a human. And whatever we are talking here, it's so relevant In that, when you see the temple first, as you enter the temple, what is there on the outside? So many carvings of so many people, of Pashu, of people doing different kind of trades, and we're showing all the Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moham. Everything is being shown. It is all on the outside carvings. And as you go inside, what is shown, this is something very, if you go to a Shiva temple, say, when you go to a Shiva temple, there you will see, as you walk in, you see Nandi. Nandi represents the individual Jiva, which is looking at
The main deity.
Shiva all the time, at all time. And in between, if you see between the Nandi and Shiva, there will be a Bali Pita. That Bali Pita means what is there between an individuality and the divine is bondage. If that bondage, or the whatever, we have these kind of bondage to the samsara, and that Bali Pita is where we sacrifice all that bondage. So when all that bondage is sacrificed, in the sense is surrendered to the Bhagavan, what is revealed to us is in the Garbhagraha. That Garbhagraha also, in our Atma Bodha class, there was one very nice Gurudev's words, commentary in one of the shloka. He says how when you have a lamp outside, you have a lamp, that lamp shows so many things. It shows so many things. But now when that lamp is put inside a pot, it only reveals what is inside the pot. Like in the Bhagavad Gita, Vyavasayatmika buddhihi ekeha kurunandanaha bahushakayanantasha buddhayor vyavasayinam. When it is outside, it is like bahushaka. Everywhere, everything, too many, multiplicity, that is what. But when it enters into that pot, what is revealed is only the inside. So, like that, when the gaze, not the gaze of the eyes, but when the awareness, the attention shifts from the outside and keeps moving inwards, 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 and it goes in and sits in that Hridaya Kuhara Madhye, that Guha, in that cave in the heart, like that pot, inside the pot, when it goes and sits inside there, what is only the divine presence is there, and everything else then starts falling off. We'll read.
Yeah.
Anything coming, Bala? Or we'll read.
And in that light, once the divine presence is there, in that light, even when everything is seen as divine.
Yes. Only divine is seen. That's so beautiful. Yes.
That is Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma, they say. The thing. Very beautiful. Yeah.
So now everybody is telling it is all because of one's good actions that God is good to him. One day Yashoda was feeding her son. He drank his fill and he was playing with her for a while. Suddenly he felt sleepy and Yashoda was looking at him with a tender smile. He was yawning and imagine Krishna yawning. He was yawning and his little mouth was small and round like a flower. When he was thus looking at his mouth, when she was thus looking at his mouth, which was open, Yashoda was taken aback at what she saw. Inside the little mouth, she saw the universe, she saw the sky, the three worlds, the clusters, the stars, the sun, the moon, Agni, Vayu, and the lords of all the quarters. She saw the oceans and all the islands. She saw mountains, forests, animals, and everything that had been created. A trembling seized her, and she wondered what it was all about. Before she could even think on it, the Lord covered her with his Maya, and she forgot the entire incident. See, this is one incident when he has revealed his true nature. So this is like, once in a while there will be a glimpse that he gives. Whatever we have read, many people, they would sometimes share that, suddenly I had this feeling of that, everything is one. I am not separate from everything. It's like an intuitive thing. It will come like a glimpse. And then after that, the Maya will cover also immediately. I had heard of this person who had spoken. She was a dancer and very, deeply, a very spiritual dancer, I should say. Bharatanatyam, but completely into, spirituality in that sense. And she once said she was doing Natvangam and her guru was dancing to this Brahmamokkate. So in that guru was going to come and fall at the feet of everybody who was singing the Natvangam, the instrumental, because everybody is Brahma. To show that the guru was going to fall at, and she was like, she's my guru, she's going to fall at my feet. No, how can she's doing the Natvangam and she's there thinking, ayo, I don't want the guru to. Something happened and she said she experienced that very high emotion. She felt that oneness, that she and the guru were the same at that point in time. For a minute, it was that minute felt like a long time, but that minute, so it is like a revelation, that wonderful revelation. And then again Maya, it is covered. When that deep contemplation happens, that experiencer experienced meshing sometimes is an anubhava, which is again covered up with Maya. So like that, this is a small revelation to Yashoda. And then Maya has covered it again.
The power of such revelations is they do not, even though Maya covers later, no, the impact, slowly what happens, the impact of that Maya reduces. This is pure grace, pure that surrender, complete surrender to the Guru. So much of that reverence in that Guru, divine, shows itself. It's very beautiful. We realize what is truth only at that time. And so much reading, so much thing and all will not give us that, We may discuss for hours together. One such revelation is enough. That's why they say all the Bhagavatas, it's very beautiful when we listen to, Bhagavatas talking about Krishna Leela. So especially this Balya Leela is so sweet, right? So they say the Gokula was in bliss always, because yes, Krishna himself is there. Okay, but yet he is constantly giving all these revelations to them. He blesses them continuously with it. It is like drinking the nectar continuously. It's so beautiful. That is how, it is all described in many. Even though he covers with that Maya, what do you say? I don't know if that's the right word, but the hangover, we can say, of that truth, it spills over. It is that's why they say, it is like the Nama Rupa is just, it is erased so beautifully. The Nama Rupa doesn't exist for them. It's all Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. If we listen to the way the Gopikas live and all. So for Yashoda, continuously he is actually revealing truth. That revelation is happening for her. Yes, covers with Maya means what happens is at that point in time, okay, my child, it comes. Yeah, very beautifully. Even that innocence of to bring out that, in Krishna Karanamritam, he Leela Sukha very beautifully he says this, as she's looking at this entire thing in the, she's looking at the Kshirabdi, she's looking at Prithvi, yeah, she's looking at that ocean, and she's thinking, it seems so, it's so parallel, it's all their visions actually, the Leela Sukha's vision. It's not, if he has experienced Krishna Leela like that and he has put it down. So he says, as Yashoda is looking, she's thinking, Yashoda is thinking, oh, ho, ho, Krishna ate so much butter, some problem in his stomach that it is not digested. It is so continuous, this vision, but immediately, again, one more. It is so blissful to even listen to that. And then Prithvi, when he's showing Prithvi, he says, so, yo, manni ittana tendrikam. He has eaten so much of mud that it is all still there. So that is there, that is coming up for her. And again that vision, so it is like uh, anoraniyana, that anu is complete reveling in that ananda rupa Bhagavan, he says, no, Narayana Bhatta is ananda rupa, to give that ananda. What is true ananda? Krishna Avatara for all this. It's
And even when we talk through jnana, if it is all, all that revelation and that letting go and all, it's so dry. But when you are thinking that Puttu Krishna is there in his Puttu mouth, that revelation is happening, and then he is coming and he is destroying all these. It is so beautiful, right? It is there is a beautiful bhava that comes with it.
Hmm.
We'll move on.
Yeah.
If anybody else feels like sharing anything, please feel free to. Okay, just unmute yourself and speak.
Yes. Anytime. That's what is that beautiful song, no? Aarti can sing. Just those two lines also. Enna tavam seidane. Yashoda.
Yeah.
What tavam did you do, Yashoda? Engum nirai parabrahman. It is like the all pervasive parabrahman who alone is, that is calling you Amma. That I don't know, the contrast or what you say, it just, I think, stills the mind, right? Mind doesn't function. It's so beautiful. Engum nirai parabrahman Amma என்றாள். What a Yashoda.
ஈரேழு புவனங்கள் படைத்தவனை, the one who has manifested this 2 times bhuvanam, which is the lokas and the talas, the 14 worlds. கையிலேந்தி சீராட்டி பாலூட்டி talati. That is, you are having such a bhagyam to hold him in your arms, cuddle him, feed him, nourish, and talati, put him to sleep. What kind of tavam have you done, oh Yashoda?
So this, though it is this jnana words, but I'm remembering it is very beautiful. Like what Aarti was saying, when it is mixed with this bhava, no, it is fantastic. So, for this Bhagwan realization, they say there are two ways. Both are parallelly, they go together. In Jnana path, they call one as Tatastha Lakshana and the other as Swarupa Lakshana. Yeah? Tatastha Lakshana is like what we say, it is like, okay, what from the familiar ground, yeah, we are introduced to that which is unfamiliar. Okay, so the typical example that Vedanta takes for Tatastha Lakshana is, say if someone says, yeah, I don't know what is a moon. Oh, you have not seen moon? Okay. So he has to tell what moon is. This is a very common example, I think, in Vedanta. And then he says, okay, but yeah, this, do you know that lake which is there in the forest? Yes, that he is used to. So, do you live in that forest? Yeah, I have been in the side of the lake many times. So, I know all that place there. Yeah. So, he says, then when you go in the night time, you go walking in that, and there are those two trees there. He says, yeah, I have seen the trees. So, go tonight and go see those trees and look up. Between those trees, you will see a white thing. That is the moon. Yeah. So he is familiar with uh, this path, yeah, but he doesn't know to look up and see the moon. Yeah. So through that he first sees. And then he realizes from wherever I see, I can see. The thing is, I have to just look up. Yeah. So that is Tatastha Lakshana. So that is typically our Ramana Bhagwan's thing where he says, look at this eye within. The feeling of that eye within. It is like he's making us look up, like looking up. Because we are used to this mind, we are used to this body, yeah, we are used to this whatever, something within, they have to say, because I'm not used to anything. I know only this as of now. So within your body, seek within, quieten the mind and see there. There is a feeling of I. There are no thoughts, nothing, just that pure thing. Yeah. So what he has already done is made us look within. When that feeling of I, when we continue to stay there, then we realize it's not in the body. Wherever you are, that feeling of I is there. So just like how he realizes that wherever he goes, then I just have to look up. So be centered within, whether I am with the body or without the body, that I continues to exist. So that is Tatastha Lakshana. And Swarupa Lakshana is where the direct Swarupa of Bhagwan is shown. So this is very common in Bhakti. It's not to separate, it's all similar only, it's all same only, but then just for us in the beginning to kind of. So there, that Sat Chit Ananda. This is Swarupa. This is our Swarupa, right? So through these katha, through these visions, he is showing us that by listening to the katha, for few, the mind stops, there is stillness. So they are one with Sat. Yeah? So Swarupa Lakshana is shown there. Yeah? For few, they may see the beauty of, by listening to the katha, by imagining all this, mind stops everywhere. But from within that what we call as chit, the consciousness, the power of the Lord, his manifestations, so many things, all that come up. So the Swarupa Lakshana of chit is shown based on our whatever previous samskaras. For few, everything stops. Again, in all this, the individual mind stops. And bliss flows, never ending. So, again the direct Swarupa is shown. He says, I am there as all this, continuously, Anoraniyana. In this Satchitananda, all the Nama Rupa you are just putting in, and I'm here as Satchitananda. So through such visions, through such revelations, through Bhagavatam, Krishna is directly giving us the Swarupa Akshana of Bhagavan. Sat. Depending on however the samskaras, he will make us sit in either Sat or Chit or Ananda or everything. We don't know how it is. I don't know if it was. Anything coming up? Anybody would like to share? Please go ahead. Okay. The naming of the children. Yeah. Want to read until?
Okay. Vasudeva was very particular that the religious rites for his sons should be performed properly. He summoned his family priest Garga by name. He told him about the children who were growing up in Gokula and asked him to go there as though by chance and to name them and to perform the other rites necessary for Kshatriya children. Garga arrived in Gokula. Nanda received him with great joy and excitement and reverence. He prostrated before him. He honored him duly, and after offering him Argya and Padya, he placed him on an honored seat and said, Brahman, how can I express my happiness at your coming? When great men like you leave your ashrams and come to the houses of ordinary men like me, it is clear that your desire is to do good to us. Or else, how can I, tied as I am to my household, who has no time to visit holy places, who is the lowest of all people because of my inability to spend time on noble actions like Tirtha Yatra and visiting holy spots, how can I say, be blessed with the sight a great personage like you, your gracious self? You are proficient in the study of Jyotisham Ayanam. Jyotisham Ayanam, I think, which is supposed to teach men knowledge which is beyond the comprehension of the senses. Please let me take advantage of the good fortune that has befallen me. I have 2 sons, and if you will grace me with your blessings, please perform their naming ceremony and the accompanying rites. Anything, or should we continue, right?
No, it is so beautiful the way a grahastha invites the sadhu at home.
Yeah, I was also
not
thinking
even
about
invite,
that.
welcome, we should say. It is very difficult in our urban life to get
For us,
sadhu home.
Atiti can become such a disturbance to our schedule.
Yeah.
The way.
So they were seen as Bhagavat Swarupa. Anybody who comes and uplifts, they are sadhus. Very beautifully. I don't know if it is was in Bhagavatam, some shloka only, I think. I don't remember the shloka, but there, I think it was in the somewhere. So he's telling what is the point? He's talking about the greatness of sadhus. There he says, people, normal people, without knowing sadhu's greatness, they go and pray to devatas. They ask for petty things like, maybe marriage for my children, education for my children, my personal health, what all we are, something, right? For health for the family or anything. So, those are devata worship. Devatas go only according to the Ishvara Agnya. Yeah? Whatever is the Agnya of the Ishvara, Devatas go according to that. they don't realize that the words of sadhu becomes the, in Bhagavatam, Bhagavan says, right? Aswatantra. Know that Vishnu himself, when Durvasa runs to Vishnu, to Vaikunta, asking him help to release him from the Sudarshana Chakra, which was chasing him because of Ambarisha Maharaj. We know that story, right? So at that time, Vishnu is saying, Aham Bhakta Paradhina. Of course, Bhakta Paradhina means that Bhakta, like complete surrender, like Bali Maharaj, like who was he? Ambarisha Maharaj. Yeah. Aham Bhakta Paradhina and I am Aswatantra. So Bhagavan is tied by the words of sadhus. If sadhus, when we listen to many charitra of great saints, we will see the power of their words, how Bhagavan makes it happen. Though it was not in the prarabdha of the one who has asked. Yeah, Bhagavan makes it happen. He says, I am Aswatantra. So Bhagavatam says, because Bhagavatam gives so much of importance to sadhu sangha. What this individual sadhana cannot cleanse can be cleansed by sadhu sangha. That is why when sadhus come home, it is very rare. For a grihastha, we need to really, that's what Nanda is showing here. Wow, great men like you leave your ashrams. They cannot, sadhus can only bless. We see that everywhere in Bhagavatam. Wherever Narada Maharishi is going, wherever, everything, it is only blessing. Even Durvasa Muni's curse is only a blessing. So there is no way that, surrendering to the sadhu. And because slowly with this urbanization, many times we are losing out on that also. We can at least go to places where we find sadhus. And Bhagavatam will give so many sadhu darshans. Reading Bhagavatam itself is a great and then the humility of Deva again, of Nanda. I am unable to visit Tirtha Kshetra because in Tirtha Kshetra the sadhus are seen, right? In all Tirtha Kshetra, even today, our Bharata Desha is filled with sadhus. I'm just remembering one more thing. Someone asked Ramana Bhagavan, why should we give annadhana to so many sadhus? Many just come for food. Not everybody is a sadhu. They just put that vesham, that dress and they come. They are more of, not everybody is like that. But why ashrams and all must give? So Bhagavan says, out of 100, if there is one in that 100, and if that one is fed, even that, brings in kshema. It brings in that auspiciousness to the entire kshetra. But if one is not fed, then it can just, bring in so much of inauspiciousness to them. So, okay, out of 100, let the one be fed. That is okay. It's not that everybody is very, but our dharma is to we follow our dharma of whatever is being. The sadhu, respecting them is very, I think, important. Because we do not know who is a sadhu, who is not.
We don't have to use our mind.
Yes,
We
exactly.
we can give. If they are not true, that is on to them, not for us.
Yes.
At that.
sometimes they say, just bringing out a different perspective, that's all. The way we look at the other, it transforms the other.
Yeah.
There is one story where it seems there was a thief, okay, who comes and he wanted to loot something from a very rich man's house. I may not be reproducing all the details correctly. I just remember the gist. So to that rich man's house, he comes to loot everything, and he takes everything. But by the time he goes out, they find out that somebody is robbing. So people start chasing him. So he doesn't know now what to do. He runs. He puts all what he had taken. He just throws down and he runs and he goes. Yeah, he goes there, and then there he enters one ashram actually. Yeah, where there are many sadhus who were sitting and they were in dhyana. So this one thinks, oh, this is the best way to disguise myself. So he also grabs one saffron cloth, which he finds, and then he drapes himself on top of that only, completely covers, and he also sits. So the people who were chasing and coming looks at that ashram, and they realize, oh, okay, something's happened. They don't even disturb, and they go back. Yeah. So this man who is there, so they say a big transformation for him. It is a very, he says, oh, and then he continues to live in that ashram and he gets the food, he gets everything there. Yeah. And all that he need to do is sit like the other. So initially he was just imitating and he was sitting like that. But then slowly within him, he started realizing that why I had to run and go and do all that, you know. Here I get the food and I'm able to stay here. And this meditation or that other sadhu's influence slowly brings that change with it. I'm not, I think, concluding it in the right way, but somehow he also becomes a sadhu in that process. Even by imitating, he finally becomes that. That is how the story ends. And even that the rich man, when he sees him as sadhu, they start coming and giving, all the dana, everything, then he realizes, oh, being like that, at that time they may not need it, but it starts coming to them. So that's the way it is. Yeah, it's a little away from this, but then even when the way we see, that is how, when sadhus, they say, right, when sadhus see somebody, it becomes a blessing sometimes, because they don't see our faults, they don't see our mind, whatever, they actually see the deeper Shraddha, if there is a deeper Shraddha. That is why we hear many transformations that happen to people. Just when they had met some sadhu. Yes, Gargamuni.
So Garga said, Nanda, I am the family priest of the Yadavas. And I have earned some reputation in the world, and people follow my action intently. If I perform the rites you speak of, Kamsa will hear about it and try to guess to why a priest of the Yadava house should have performed them, and he may rashly arrive at the conclusion that your son is the son of Devaki. When her eighth child was born, it was well known that Kamsa found it to be a girl child. This child flew into the skies out of his hand, as you must have heard, and told him that the son who is meant to kill Kamsa has already been born and is growing up somewhere. And again, Kamsa will think about the great friendship which exists between you and Vasudeva. On top of all this, if Kamsa hears that it was I who performed the rites for the child, he is sure to cause a lot of trouble to you and to your child. Nanda said, we can avert all that you are afraid of. In this Gokula, in my house, without the knowledge of even my nearest kinsman, please perform the rite secretly. I will not have any open celebrations or announcements. I am very keen that you should be the one to name the children. Garga agreed to do what he had actually come there to do, the mission for which he had traveled all the way to Gokula. He said, "This young child, this son of Rohini, charms everyone with his beauty and will in later life charm everyone with his excellent qualities. I will name him Rama. Since he will also be very powerful, he will be known as Bala. He is also to be named as Sankarshana. Balava, ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
Balaram.
Bala only, right? Yeah. This other son of yours is dark in complexion, and I will call him Krishna. Once in his previous birth, he was the son of Vasudeva, and so we can call him Vasudeva. But do not let that name be used. Let it be a secret. The wise say that your son has many names according to his many qualities. I know them, but the men of the world do not know them. This child, which is the source of joy to you and all those in Gokula, will bring you great good fortune. Because of him, all your troubles will disappear. In one of his previous births, the kingdom was without a king, and as a result of this, the country became harassed by thieves and atheists. This son of yours was born as the king of the country and delivered it of its troubles. This refers to the avatara Prithu. Vena was a king who was bent on harassing his subjects. He will punish all those who protected the Vedas and the Vedangas, and atheism was gaining the upper hand. It followed that thieving and other similar adharmas became rampant in the country. After the death of Vena, Lord Narayana was born as King Prithu and delivered the earth of her pain. What
So
a beautiful
Garga
line.
Muni is indirectly telling it is Narayana.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not, he's not directly giving that. So this, no, these two, um, how much more is there? Because I took this Narayaniam shloka and kept. Garga. So just one more paragraph you read, then we can relish two verses from Narayani. Very beautiful.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Hmm.
So those who love this son of yours, this Krishna, will not be troubled by enemies. Just as asuras who are devoted to Narayana are not troubled because of their asuric birth.
Hmm.
Please take very good care of Krishna, your son, who will be performing great things for the good of all of you. After blessing all of them, Garga left them and went his way to tell Vasudeva and Devaki all about the happenings at Gokula and about the welfare of the children. Rama and Krishna were growing up like the moon during the
This
days
is
of.
their Bala Leela.
Oh, okay. Now it continues, is it? Oh,
Ah,
it's not over. ಹೋಗು ಕೆಳಗೆ.
yeah. Now it starts with Bala Leela.
Oh, it continues.
Hmm.
Okay, okay, okay. We'll stop.
Yeah, country. Yeah, I don't think it's a different. So here, so Gargamuni, just this we can see. It's very nice. So basically, Gargamuni knows he's a Narayana Avatara. No? So Narayana Bhattadri writes, Kathamasya Nama Kurve. How will I name you? Garga is looking at Krishna, the baby. He takes Krishna in his lap. He looks at him as Paramatma. And then he says, Kathamasya Nama Kurve. How will I name you? How to give a name to you? Sahasra Namno hi Ananta Namno va. Yeah, the one who is all names. Sahasra Nama means all names. Is him only. Ananta Nama, name which never ends. Right? All the form, everything is from him and everything is him. Iti nunam gargamunihi. So, like this Gargamuni is thinking, looking at the baby, Krishna. Chakre tava nama rahasi vibho. Chakrapani. That one he says. And then he says, tava nama. So, I will think about it. I will put your name as a rahasya. I will give you vibho. See, that's a very beautiful, the way Narayana Bhattadri uses this vibho, just like how Bhagavan Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita uses different names for Arjuna, and if you little bit, try to connect, you will see that according to that situation, he would have used that word. Be it Dhananjaya, be it Sabyasachi is the only place where he uses is Nimitta Matram Bhava Sabyasachi. You are ambidextrous, so he's telling, though you know all that, you are only my instrument. So Sabyasachi. So like that here, Narayana Bhattadri also uses words for Guruvayurappan so beautifully. So he said Vibho. Vibho is that all pervasive, who is ever present, omniscient, omnipresent. That Vibho. So all names are you only. Just because you appear in the small form, how to give a name. That is the thing first he says. Kathamasya nama kurve sahasranamno hi anantanamno va iti nunam gargamunihi chakre tava nama nama rahasi vibho Krishidhatunakaravbhyam Sattanandhatmat. So he says Krishi Dhatu. So Krishi means Sat. The Krishi Dhatu represents Sat. The Nakara represents Ananda. So Sat and Ananda together. And he says Jagat, the entire, from this entire world, Agha, all the Papa, you are the one who will take it away. So what is Jagat? Jagat is made of 4 things. Swami says in Bhagavad Gita. Raga, Dvesha, Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva. The foundation of these 4 pillars is Avidya, Asmita. My individual self. The I am in individual. The first Agha, Papa. Papa is not just outside. The more and more we contemplate and take the mind within, we realize that is actually within. That is manifesting as some action outside. Yeah. So this Agha is Raga, Dvesha, Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva. That all these stem from the basic error of individual Jiva Bhava. So when this Krishna, so it is in continuation with how our discussion is happening right from the beginning. When this Krishna comes and sits in our hearts, then there is no space for such Agha to come. That is what he's saying. Jagat Agha Karshitvam. So you will destroy all the Aghas in this entire Jagat. Kathayadrishihi. So with your kathas. So now I am naming you as Krishna. Krishna namate yatanot. So that's the beauty. He says absolute peace, and you are the one who will take out all the sins. So this is a beautiful way how Bhattatri has put his bhava. The beauty of Narayaniam is he is constantly in conversation with Guruvayur. So when we read also, after a point, we start conversing with him. That's the beauty. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Now
all we need to do, converse with him.
Yeah. That's the idea of all this.
We instead project it outside. All we have to do is converse with him within.
In fact, the more and more the inner communion is there, There is no outside, inside, okay, but keeping this body as the border. In the worldly, in this activities also, what happens is, it is only the inner communion which happens. Uh, because clearly his body is not communicating, right? Even say when I am talking to somebody next to me, is it the body which is communicating? No, right? So this awareness, when it is there continuously, then that itself is Atmanishtha, that it is Atman alone, which is all the Shabdas are his. So the self is communicating with the self. Sat, Swami always says, Sat ingendu pesi, Sat angendu keta satsangam. The Sat talks from here and the Sat listens from there. That is satsangam. It's not the body or the mind which is listening. Actually, that is the truth even now. It's just that somehow the mind covers the truth. Where is the mind to talk in the first place? It cannot. Anything, Auntie? This one, no? Again, I don't know because, but Narayana is here. Rama and Krishna were growing up like moon during the days of Acts. They are crawling on four with silver anklets. So I'll just read these two. अयि सबलमुरारे पाणिजानु प्रचारैः किमपि भवनभागान् भूषयन्तौ भवन्तौ तौ all these are dual dvivachana. Both of them are crawling everywhere. Yeah. Chalati charana kanjau. So as you are crawling, the anklets are making sound. Manju manjira shinja. Shravana kutuka bhajau. Cheritushcharu vegad. So how Bhattadri is describing is, as they crawl, and they are crawling, both of them are crawling, and the anklets are making the sound. Yeah? By hearing the sound, they crawl fast. So the anklets is it's louder, and then they pause. It is silent. They laugh. Again they crawl. So that like that, they are moving around, crawling. It is so beautiful. Charana Kanjau, Manju Manji Rashinja. Shravana Kutuka. By listening to it, more Kutuhala is there and they are crawling faster, faster, faster. And as they are crawling, they will turn and look, it seems. And these Gopikas who are there, and Yashoda, Rohini, all of them, just that turning and looking will bring in so much of bliss, and that's it. Mridu mridu vihasantau unmishadantavantau. Danta, that with that small teeth they will be seen when they turn and they look. Vadana patita keshau. Oh, the kesha, the hair is falling beautifully on their face. Drishyapadabjadeshau. So they all are looking. Bhujagalita karanta vyalagat kankanankau mati mahara tamuchaihi pashyatam vishwanrunam. So everything, okay, as they are crawling, all this vangi or whatever, the bracelets, everything is falling down, everything is making sound, and they both are crawling, and that is how it is. And as they turn and look, it's very beautiful. So they have relished this bhava, and they have written. That is why even when we read it now, it is so beautiful. Only so much, no? We'll finish, yeah.
We'll finish it, I think, only little bit.
Yeah.
So Rama and Krishna were growing up like the moon during the days of waxing. They were now able to crawl on their fours, and the silver anklets which they were wearing would make sweet music wherever they went. Soon they were able to toddle, and it was the eternal delight of their mothers and the women of Gokula to watch them taking hesitant steps and fall down and cry as though they were hurt. They would want, you want to say something?
No.
Very cute. They would wander into streets and covering themselves with mud, they would come home and stand with their eyes wide open as though they were afraid of their mothers and their scolding. The mothers would gather them in their arms, and with the dust and mud soiling their silken dresses, they would hug their children. The children would smile, and their teeth, which had just begun to appear, would charm all of them like the thin silver of the moon which is seen in the sky. The gopis would forget their daily tasks. So absorbed would they be with the antics of the two children in Nanda's house. They grew up enough to run around all over the place. They began to play in Gokula with the children in the other houses. For hours on end, they would be missing, and Yashoda with Rohini would begin to worry. So passed the days of their early childhood.
So beautiful.
Beautiful.
So as they fall, no, it is said that Divi Muni, all the Munis are looking at the Vaikuntapati doing this. They leave their meditation, they are enjoying this. Vandyamanav, all of them, very nicely. Somewhere I heard they were saying in this Krishna Avatara, no? Then and there, he is doing so much wonders, right? Then and there, he is blessing. So the Devatas would always stand with the flowers ready in their hand. Every time, something like this happens, they would put, because many times we see in Bhagavatam, Devatas, or many times it comes. So they are always standing ready with, so like that, the Munis are always like this, looking at the Vaikuntapati, who is otherwise in Yoga Nidra on Adisesha. Both these are here crawling and crying and making these, giving so much of bliss to all who are eternal delight. The eternal delight. It is not something which comes and goes. It is not some excitement. It is the Ananda Swarupa Bhagavan. Karunavatara. This is how Krishnavatara starts. Bhattadri says Ananda Swarupa Bhagavan Karunavatare. So out of his compassion, he descends and gives so much of Leela that Swarupa Lakshana, Darshana is given to every Bhakta. As Sat, as Chit, as Ananda, that one truth which is and which alone is.
And I was also thinking, how many of us as mothers relish our babies, children's pranks like this? There is so much love there. Not coming from the,
Yeah.
Ayo, now I have to clean. She may be still, but the way it is being put, there is so much bhavana, that love, that cherishing of those babies. Something for us to learn from that, from Yashoda and the Gopikas, right? That how they cherish, how they see the beauty in all the pranks. Instead of being caught with, oh my God, what is, or when that cherishing is so lovely. That is what was coming to.
Very true, very true. It's because they are one with the divine.
Yeah.
When my mind comes that I have to do this work, that work, I lose the divinity.
Exactly.
Our
It is
children
when
are
the mind
Krishna.
comes, that's when we get all irritable, frustrated, irritated, everything. But when we are with that divine and we see only the beauty in
Yeah.
everything, they won't even be spoiled, because that is such a beautiful,
Yes.
loving cherishing.
Pure love.
There is
Pure.
so much pure love there that uh, That will guide them.
Yes, very true, very true. It's divine, Every child is Krishna only. Everything is divine, right? So our life is divine. So when everyone is seen as divine, nothing. One we can maybe stop with that example. One is a very common thing. Many might know. One bhakta, she shares with Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. She wanted to go to Brindavan. She loves Krishna. Her Ishta Devata was Krishna. She says, I'm unable to go to Brindavan because at home I have to take care of my grandchild. Ramakrishna says, why worry? See your child as Krishna, your grandchild as Krishna. Whatever you want to, play with, with that bhava, interact with that. Your grandchild, so that is very beautiful, The grandchild may grow later, but this bhava which she has brought in will stay with her. You don't have to physically go to places because that is not in our control. Body is binding. Yeah. This entire thing, it will bind. But here now find that freedom by moving away from the mind. Seeing, then divine alone is seen. This is Isha Vasyam Idam Sar. So this is the secret. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa tells her, see your grandchild as Krishna. Then she starts, doing all that, whatever she wanted to do with Krishna, playing, whatever. So that bhava stays with her. And then that bhava takes care of it. The person may go. It doesn't matter. Same thing. Divinize our every breath, every breath is divine.
Yeah, we'll close. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkhabad Bhavet Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om